Welcome to the KMC Collective podcast, where the KMC team brings you practical insights, creative ideas, and authentic conversations for children's ministry leaders. Each conversation is packed with strategies to help you lead with clarity, build strong teams, nurture families, and stay healthy in the process. Whether you're planning lessons, training volunteers, or seeking encouragement for the week ahead, this podcast is for you. We hope to make you laugh, cry, think, and maybe a bit of all three in each of our weekly conversations. This is the KMC Collective Podcast. Let's jump into the conversation.
So guys, let's be honest. We know Kidmin's full. You got a lot of stuff. You're leading volunteers. You're partnering with the parents. You're sending emails. You're sending text messages. You're managing your curriculum. You're managing a large group, pro presenters, and all that type of stuff. Solving problems on the fly, and trying to stay spiritually healthy in all of it. So, in part one, guys, we talked about tools like calendars, AI, systems, and teams. You guys covered AI without me, and I want to talk about that.
Sorry.
Because I love AI to help you work smarter. But those tools to make the biggest difference aren't just systems, they're people. So today we're going to dive into the second part. And I'm, again, disappointed I missed the first part. Adding those powerful tools like mentors, communication rhythms, and practical systems that don't make ministry easier. That don't just make ministry easier, they make you a stronger and a healthier leader.
All right. Welcome to the KMC Collective Podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm cool.
I'm Ben.
Oh, and I'm Vickie, and I'm so excited for the conversation today. And we can wrangle this mess around. We are in for a big treat. Sorry,
I feel like
you
we're a
missed
lot in
AI.
camp mode here, guys. I feel like we're all in camp mode going on
Yeah.
right now.
It's okay. It's okay. This conversation is timely for us
That's
and
for sure.
probably most of our listeners. Like if you're listening to this right after we record it. But let's be honest, this conversation is good no matter when you're catching this
That's
episode.
100%.
That's right.
So
Yep. And if you missed the first episode, you're going to have to go back too, because we had Jim Weidman, the amazing Jim Weidman, which,
Yes,
oh my goodness,
so
we had a
good.
conversation. We've had some
We
great
didn't want it
feedback.
to end. Yeah,
I felt like we didn't give him enough time. We need like another hour.
Well, we are going to have him back, especially because his books will be coming. So we will get him back, and we'll probably have to do a two-parter because 35 minutes wasn't enough. Never is. None of my conversations, just one-on-one, have ever been 35 minutes.
I don't know how we manage that.
But yeah, I agree, Vickie. I think this week's thinking about some of these tools for people, because, there are some things that really do make life as a leader simpler. It's not, anybody that's looking for easy, I'm sorry, you better go flip burgers at McDonald's, because ministry is not easy. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for any of you out there. If you're expecting ministry to be easy, if you're expecting everything to just go smoothly, if you're looking for pixie dust and unicorns, go to a toy store, or flip burgers, or sell ice cream to
I don't think they have
Eskimos.
pixie dust and unicorns flipping burgers, man. I don't know where you're going with
pixie
that.
dust all the time, Tom. It's called confetti.
Yeah,
I think you
confetti.
just carry that around with you.
Yeah,
like,
Vickie, let's be
close.
honest. I've seen you with that like the last 4 times we've recorded.
Yeah, it's all over her office. I think,
I have
it's just there.
seen the pictures in the group chat.
Yep.
Do you
yep.
just carry a bag with you, or do you have a bag at every location? Like at any given point, you can just reach over and sprinkle.
She's got it.
It's in
I
her
may or
pockets.
may not have, confetti that lives at home, confetti that lives in my desk, and a small confetti in my backpack. It is amazing the things that you can just bless people with by just a little here and there.
Little poof.
I'll
Here's
start
confetti.
calling you Tinkerbell. That's what I'm
Yeah.
like. Well, I will say this. We talked about in the last episode, calendaring. I started using it and more effectively. Thank you, Miss Vickie. You hooked me up with some knowledge, and it works. And
Yeah.
so, I definitely think listening and applying is huge.
Yep.
couple weeks ago, I started at a new church. And what I love about this church is it's extreme numbers of volunteers. They call them Dream Team. But without them, like, it, honestly, church doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's a low number of staff, a high number of volunteers, but what I've noticed is they are given permission to do. Like, they jump in, they feel ownership. It's not a renter where I show up because I feel like I got to do the check mark, or I feel guilty that like they need help. It literally is like empowerment to be able to be a team player because they want it.
Yeah.
And they want to give up their time. And so, like, that's for me is what I would take away just in the past couple of weeks is the biggest tool that I think this church has is their volunteer base. And man, they come in during the week. I mean, every day there's at least 10 people walking through the door. Like, we had to move some chairs, and there was about 20 guys in the middle of the day that could have been at the gym, could have been working. Maybe they took lunch. I don't know. But where they came from, it was like roaches. They're there. And like, it's just fun to see. So I definitely think one of the biggest tools that we didn't talk about last time, or really focus in on it, is definitely finding volunteers who want it.
There you go.
Yep.
Like, you got volunteers, like I've met with small churches that are like, it's just me. I don't really have enough people to help. I can't pull this off. And I understand where you're coming from. I came from a small church, grew up in a small church. I watched my mom lead the children's ministry at our church. My dad was a pastor. My mom led the children's ministry, played the piano and the organ all in the same time.
One hand on the organ, one on the keyboard.
And
And
foot
it's
over
one of those
here.
things where it's all about casting the vision of why it's so important that I believe you can't really use that excuse. There's not anybody that wants to jump in. It's all about how you ask. It's the ask. It's about finding their personality, and hearing their story and connecting their story to an opportunity for them to just shine bright for Jesus within the church, outside of the church, wherever you need that volunteer. So for me, I'm bringing to the table, your volunteer is a major tool.
Yep. It
That sounded
definitely
bad,
is.
right?
If you're gonna,
I'm not calling the volunteer a tool. I'm calling it, they are a special tool.
yes, we
They are
got it.
special.
We
We
got it.
got it.
We got it.
Just
But
check, just check.
the whole thing is that a lot of leaders get caught in the mindset that nobody wants to help. And there's a lot of that negativity going around in Facebook world that nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to help. It's just me. It's just me. Listen, if that's you, I'm begging you to ask the Holy Spirit to help you repent of that thought because you're believing the lie of the enemy. That is a lie from the pit of hell
100%.
itself, that nobody cares as much as you do. I told myself that. So look, I'm one who had to repent of that and say, because I used to do, if not me, then who? Well, I'm just going to do it because I'm not going to bother because everybody's so busy. I don't want to take advantage of their time. I started saying no for people without
Don't
even
say their no
asking them.
time.
And you know what? I was an addition table. I added little by little by little. But as soon as I repented from that mindset and said, God, I want to build a team because you are a kingdom builder. I'm going to be a kingdom builder. I want to multiply. And so they're not, get out of this I need help mindset. I need multipliers. I need apprentice-makers. Not just disciple makers. I need them to make apprentices of Jesus. And so go invite people to step into that next level of discipleship. If they want to say no, let them say no, but don't say no for them. So make that list and go, like Ben said, share the vision and ask them to step into a specific thing for a specific time and say, this is how I'm going to help you win and change the world around you because you're going to do something super significant. You're going to grow as much as the kids are going to grow. So I totally agree. but you got to build a team. And I know Vickie has she's got a philosophy and a strategy of not just building individual volunteers, but building leaders of leaders. And I think having coaches is a valuable tool to all of this. So Vickie, tell us a little bit about, because I know you're pretty passionate about developing people that can lead other people so that you, as the main leader, don't get exhausted trying to lead everybody. Because I saw somebody in Facebook land not too long ago post about how they had 80 volunteers and 20 something else, and they were trying to do everything and they were struggling. So talk to that person that I got volunteers. I just don't know how am I supposed to take care of them all?
Right.
Because they shouldn't, right?
They shouldn't. They should not. We are doing a disservice to our kingdom work. I love the volunteer conversation and how we can use volunteers and the fact that we have all types of volunteers, right? We know this, the Bible says, like, we're all part of one body, and some of us, like, there's the hand and the foot and the leg, and we all work together. And so it's finding your volunteers that are gifted for different things. You will have a volunteer who just wants to come in and rock babies, and that's amazing. And then you are going to find those volunteers, they're a higher capacity volunteer. If you are at a church where you're the only staff person, you're part-time. Maybe you are at a church small church, you're a volunteer yourself. One of the best things you can do is find somebody to be a coach for you. A coach isn't something that just is for larger churches. I was having a conversation with somebody and they said, well, we're a small church. I don't need that yet. I would say that is a tool that you are not maximizing. I would say that's not dependent on church size. Find a coach that can own big things. And we have levels of coaches, right? Do they oversee a classroom? Do they oversee a classroom and then find subs? Do they send out schedules? Do they do coffee dates during the week? That is part of replicating and giving away ownership. I think what Ben said, like, those volunteers own different types of ministry. Do you have those retirees who have time to come in and do a lot of things for you? They're a different type of volunteer. And then I would say, find a coach. Find a coach who's leading that group of people so you don't have to be there.
Yeah.
So I am a big proponent in finding those coaches, or whatever you call them. They could be like, right, leader of leaders. There's a lot of different
Team lead.
terms that we can use: team lead, group lead, area lead, whatever you want to think about it. But I encourage you to spend some time this week thinking about, like, what could I give away?
Yeah.
Write it down. And what are the things only you can do? There's things that, like, we might only be able to do, like have hard conversations with parents, but there's a lot of things we could do. So how do you use volunteers, and especially that coach role, as a tool to help free you up?
And start now, which you'd be forced to do later. Don't
I
wait.
think, Tom, just on something that Vickie kicked down and something I've read about a lot, and even myself have experienced it. But if you're doing everything and you're not delegating out to coaches in some capacity, you get worn out. Sunday mornings become a drag.
Faster.
Sunday mornings don't become exciting and fun. You just become, oh, it's Sunday morning. What am I doing here? And so, like, for me, when I got my coaches, man, it was a game changer. Game changer. Sunday mornings are extremely more fun, extremely more engaging for me because I don't have all the responsibility all the time. I can take a little bit of time away and go to service or meet with other people upstairs in our lobby. And it's nice to just have that. And it doesn't wear me out. It makes me better. It makes me a better leader and a better kids director for the families and the kids at our church.
Yeah. So I want to know from you guys, as you're thinking about that, and we're talking about coaches, but what about the leader? Because I honestly think a second thing that we ought to target in this conversation this week is that whole idea of ourselves getting coaching and mentoring. Jim said it loud and clear, and that everyone does better with a coach. And it doesn't matter whether you've been serving 2 months or 20 years.
That's right.
Everybody needs a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. Tom Brady has a coach. The GOATs. of sports world, they had coaches who helped them become better. They had people that worked with them on every little aspect. Every one of us ministry leaders, you would be really sorely mistaken if you think you don't need, and it's not this, because I've had people say, oh, but I listen to podcasts, I read books. Hey, that's great. But there's a game-changing thing that happens when you have somebody who walks beside you, who listens, who asks hard questions. So I'm curious for you guys, how do you see that being important as a tool for ministry growth, for leadership growth, for team building growth? How does a coach impact those areas and even longevity in ministry? Because I mean, I will say, I didn't get my first coach, which was Jim, until I was like 15, it's about 10, 12, 15 years in. I was almost halfway done with my ministry before I got a actual coach. So I'm just curious from you guys, how do you feel, and why do you feel that's even important? Or maybe you don't. You can push back around the table.
Let me jump in on this, Tom, because I was one for my first 2 ministry jobs. I didn't have like a coach. Like I had like a boss who coached me through the day-to-day parts of kids ministry. But like when I think of a coach, I think of someone that's like almost like a mentor outside of kids ministry. And I didn't have that in my first 2 stops. But I was 3 years into my current position, and I remember my boss telling me, he's like, hey, you need to find someone that's outside of kids ministry, that's gonna hold you accountable, ask you the hard questions. And I was like, who could I get? And so we have a guy at our church. His name's Dan. He's been a volunteer pastor at our church for the past 25 years or something like that, almost 30 years.
Wow.
He does all our care pastor stuff. So he goes out to the hospitals and stuff. But I'd known Dan the entire time I'd been there, because I actually stayed at one of his family members' house when we moved here for the first week we were here. And anyway, so I said to Dan, I said, hey, I need someone I can just come to and talk about ministry, talk about life, hold me accountable, ask me the hard questions, don't pull the punches. And Dan was like, yeah, I'll 100% do that for you. And Dan and I meet. We don't meet every week. We meet every other week. And sometimes we take the summers off, and sometimes we take, a couple of extra weeks here and there off because of vacations and stuff like that. But we sit down and in our cafe, and we talk for an hour, and it's always like, what's going on? What do you need prayer for? What do you need to run by me? And I mean, and I was going through, I could talk about it freely because my boss knows about it, but I was going through a possibility of a transition period this last like 2 years. And Dan was the sounding board. Besides, praying and all that type of stuff, Dan was a huge sounding board for that. He's been in ministry since he was Dan's like 80. He's been in ministry since he was in his 20s. So you do the math. But
Yeah.
I think it's actually helped me stay. The longevity that I've had here in my current position, I think, is only because one of the only reasons is because Dan has been a sounding board for me and asked me the hard questions about where I was at, personally and spiritually and all that.
That's so good.
I was 15 years in the ministry when I got burnout massive. Basically took on too much. And somebody told me one time, if you can't coach yourself, at what point are you not going or if you can't get somebody that can walk beside you and coach you and help you and encourage you, how are you going to do this with a group of other people like volunteers? And so the reason you're burnt out is because you're not developing yourself with help, and you can't help anybody else. And so it also becomes like, if you can't coach yourself, if you can't trust somebody else to help you, you're going to do until you can't do it anymore. And you won't understand how to coach somebody else and bring them along in the process. And you're going to struggle because you can't recruit volunteers. You're going to struggle because you don't know how to empower other people because you're not trusting anybody to help you.
Yeah.
And man, it lit me up because like, at that point, I was like, well, it's time to find somebody. Found somebody encouragement came, the hard truth came, and just it really makes you start seeing differently so that you
Yeah.
can be the better leader or the best leader that God created you to be. So
That's good stuff.
definitely think that
Yeah.
if you don't, you're going to end up burnout as well. And I don't want to see that for anybody. Like,
Yeah.
we're better
No.
tough. That's who we are, right? The
Yeah,
Kidmin
that's a good
Collective.
saying. That's a
Yep.
good saying.
It is.
We
I wonder
Yeah.
where we got
should
that.
hang on to that.
We're not better by ourselves.
What?
We is better than me, not me is equal to me
It's another
or
good one.
less
We should
than. It's just,
put that on the
you
back
know,
of a T-shirt.
we
Yeah.
should.
Or
Yeah.
a
I
sticker
will
or something.
say, Ben, I totally agree with you about what a coach is, using mentors, and not having one for a long time in ministry, and not even knowing that that is something I should consider. I think this is the gift we're giving people, is making it awareness, right? That
Mhm.
not only is it available, but you should consider
Yeah.
this. I found myself in ministry, and a little bit like you, I didn't really realize what was going on. And I was just feeling the effects. And somebody said, "Are you burnt out? Who is your mentor? Who is coaching you?" And I just right, it was just like crickets. I was like, oh, there's a void. And it was
Yep.
really, really interesting how the shift to, I waited way too long to get a
Right.
coach and to find a mentor, and it changed. And I think that's why I'm passionate. And I think you all are too, about coaching, because we
Yeah.
saw what it did for all of us.
Yeah. And before we jump into the next tool, let's real quick, what should someone look for because there's a lot of people out calling themselves ministry coaches. There's a lot of people offering coaching, both group and individual. And yes, if the listener hasn't seen us yet on YouTube or heard us on the audio, we have kmccoach.net where all four of us offer one-on-one coaching. We do have some group coaching throughout the year at different times, and we'll be doing something again in the fall of 2026 as we're recording this now. We're in the spring, but in the fall we'll be doing. But what are some things? Because there's a lot of people out there that they lose their job and I'm going to become a coach. And that's not, you got to be careful. And then there's some people that just give away coaching and don't charge anything. And again, you get what you pay for. And so I'm just curious real fast, because I don't want to take too much time on this, but maybe one of you, two of you can throw in some insight of how would you go about, it's looking at a coach or hiring a coach.
I always consider, like, okay, if you're renovating your house, you want a specialist in that area or somebody that is well versed in that. Like, if they do kitchens, the kitchen is amazing. If they're more outside, like, I want to know what they're capable of doing. So my recommendation is, if you need help in coaching with developing leaders, find somebody that's well versed in that and say, "Hey, would you be willing to help me with this situation?" Like, this is figuring out what your problem is or your weakness, and saying, "I need to find somebody that can develop me, encourage me, and push me to be better at this area." So, like, if you need a creative, find somebody that's got creative flowing out of their nostrils. If you need somebody who's good with small churches, like you're jumping into a church for the first time, like, find somebody that specializes in that. Multi-site, big churches. There are different types of coaches that specialize in certain things. And if you don't know what they specialize in, look at their social media and just see where they came from. Somebody is just looking to, for a job, they're probably not gonna be the best coach, because they're hurt. But if they have some history, I definitely see that being something that could benefit you in that area specifically.
And I think I guess I'm going to jump back in because I've got real strong opinions on this. But I also I just think that you want to find people who have been coached themselves.
Mhm.
I would not put myself under somebody as a mentor or as a coach, which they're kind of different things.
They are.
And so I have mentors that are podcast people, they're book writers. Those are mentors to me. Other people in ministry. I have mentors who are younger in ministry than I am. I have mentors who are older. I have mentors that are beside me in the same age range.
Mhm.
But my coach is somebody who I know has studied coaching, who has been coached themselves. And I just am very passionate about look at the credentials behind somebody. If you want advice from somebody, hey, that's great. That's different. Coaching invests in you. It doesn't tell you how to do it. It helps you pull it out of you and helps you see it. And so that's one of the things that's why we push KMC coaching, because everybody on this team has gone through this process and understands what it means to coach somebody, not just give advice or make you feel better, and all that. So, all right, I think we've gotten it.
Yep. This
Um,
this leads
Yep.
into our third tool,
Ooh, what is it?
which if you don't have these, a coach could help you get there. Who is
Oh,
well
Yep.
versed in that.
very nice. I like that transition.
Which is
I'm supposed to
system.
talk about the transition.
It works.
I am a
Uh-huh.
systems girl. I am like, if there's a problem, it is an opportunity to create a system.
Miss
Systems are
Inbox Zero.
systems are tools to help us work smarter. I want a system in place that allows me to be freed up from the mundane to allow me to invest in relationships. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, right?
good.
A system should free you up so
Yeah.
you can be more relational. So databases, how can they be running reports for me? So I can be making the calls or going for a coffee or writing those 4-week miss you cards. But I am a big systems person. So I would like for you guys to chat
Oh
through,
boy.
like, what systems do you have or do you think are good tools for people that would something they could think about to help them and free them up?
I have piles
Okay,
of
so
folders on the
I'm not. We're not sponsored by them. We're not, but I'm gonna fully plug them
But if
because
they're
they have
listening,
shifted.
they can certainly
Well, yeah, but
help.
if they want to be a sponsor, we'll take it. Sure. And they know me because every conference I go to and they're there, I always go in and get more tips and tricks. But Planning Center for me has
Oh,
been a lifesaver when it comes to lists, when it comes to rosters, when it comes to registration. Like, yeah, doing camps. Like right now, we're in full camp mode at our church, and I've got 100 and some people have signed up for camp volunteers and kids, and I can go in and go, man, I need to know how many shirts I need to order. I click on the thing and it's like breakdown of every shirt I need. Here's where they want to serve at. And yeah, there's stuff I have to do on the front end, but the beauty of it is I can just replicate it the next year and it's right there again and boom, bang, it's good to go. For me, it's finding programs like that, like Planning Center. Google Drive is great if you're like trying to share documents with volunteers and things like that, or Office 365. But trying to find programs that are easy systems, that can then make things easy and replicatable, so you have more time to do ministry and less time behind a computer. So for me, it's finding those types of apps and things like that.
So since you missed the conversation in the first version or episode or part one of this whole thing, have you ever created a system with AI?
Yes.
me too.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. I
It's
did
there
one
to help you
piece-
for sure. You
Yeah.
just got to know how to word it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will put a link in the show notes to a tool that I use that is very safe. It's I would say, I'll just put it this way. It's in a gated community. when you get access to this tool, it actually has protections around the AI so that it's different than just going to Claude or ChatGPT or one of those. And it actually, those AI tools are in this program, but literally the founder of this is a believer. A lot of the financial backers are believers. So I like supporting those kind of kingdom work mindset people, but I really appreciate the fact that his AI tool is protected. And so when you start creating stuff for your ministry, it's safe and you're going to have some good stuff. So yeah, in fact, I was actually doing that, using it for the Kid Ministry Collective the other night, helping me think through some new things that we could offer the kid ministry community. So it was a lot of fun. It definitely helps. So yeah, I'm a Google Drive person. I'm also a piles, not files kind of person. So I have a few piles on the floor that are organized in certain colors, just so I know what's in it. But I also use Dropbox and Evernote. And although Evernote's getting too expensive, so I'm probably going to be ditching that and going pretty much all Google Drive in 2026. So, but it helps me organize that stuff.
From Evernote just recently to OneNote. Even though I'm a big Mac guy, OneNote, like you can do and create, and it's the same thing as
OneNote
Evernote.
is nice.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to you
some
about
good
that
OneNote.
offline. So that would be good.
It's
That'd
a
be good.
system. It's a tool
It
to
is.
help
It is.
you work smarter.
You
And
know,
all tools aren't for everyone. Like I think,
Right.
I hope that's what listeners are hearing, is that some things that work for one of us might not work for all of us. But the goal of this is to help you think through systems, tools, giving you ideas.
good.
One of the systems I love as a tool is like my inbox for email, like folders. So I have
Yes.
folders and tons of automatic workflows that just immediately put emails into folders.
Yep.
Same thing, whether for your documents that you're using, if you're not organized in folders, find a time. Hide yourself away for 8 hours. Put things in folders, whether they're digital folders or file folders. That will help you. It is a good system to help you be able to find things work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and just
So-
trying to remember stuff. One of the most overlooked things is just creating voice memos for yourself. I mean, I literally, even today, I was in the middle of running some stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I can't forget this, and I hit my voice memo app on my phone and just recorded, hey, don't forget to do this, 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 and this, and I named off 3 things that I had to get done when I got home, and now I don't have to sit there and remember it, because it also set a reminder when I get home to that reminder pops up, and boom, and it's so simple to do. And once it's something simple and consistent. And to me, we said that in the first episode, find systems that you can be consistent on, because if they're not going to stick, if you're not going to be consistent using them, it's going to hinder you. It's going to slow you down and not make you more productive. You're going to be paralysis by analysis all the time. And that's no
So
good.
one last thing I want to tell you. The other day I was on the phone with someone, and they asked, what is the Kid Ministry Collective? And I was like, okay, now are we in like an elevator pitch? What? And honestly, my answer was this, and this summarizes this whole episode, is we are a resource. It's not just us 4 sitting here on this podcast. It's a community of people that are doing the exact same thing you are, and you're struggling with things that there's got to be. I mean, there's thousands of people on this community on Facebook. There's hundreds of thousands of people that download and listen to these podcasts. There's got to be someone out there that knows what you're going through. And I honestly think Kid Ministry Collective is a resource, and you just
100%.
need to start using it. Like, get on Facebook, ask questions.
Yeah.
Tom, I've given you an elevator right now. What would you say to someone that asks you that question? What is Kid Ministry
You're in an
Collective?
elevator,
Hit
Tom.
it.
I would say we are a community that wants to see the kingdom of God grow by having healthy leaders that build healthy teams that launch healthy ministries that impact their community and their world. That's what the KMC is all about. That's what the collective. We've got almost 6,000 members in our Facebook group, but sadly, a vast majority of them never interact with anything. Why? Because it's Facebook. So what we've done is we set up KidminPlus.net to say, hey, if you're a leader and you're tired of all the Facebook fluff, if you're tired about all the venting and the bantering and all that stuff that goes on in Facebook world that's negative and complaining, and you want to get around a group of leaders that builds you up and lifts you up and that comes around you, that's why we created KidminPlus.net, was to say leaders that want to think like leaders, talk like leaders, have leadership level discussions, come in there. And yeah, it's a monthly membership. It's all of $15 a month. And if you want a free preview, just email me at tom@tombump.com. I'll give you a 14-day free preview. You can come check it
There you
out.
go.
Come see the community. You get access to all 4 coaches. We come in and do live coaching for an hour throughout the month. We have live roundtable discussions where you can come and talk with other leaders, like virtually, but being together in the roundtable, like what we're doing here. It is so cool. And yet a lot of people don't even know it exists. So we want to make sure you know that if you're struggling, if you need community, if you don't have a network around you, come check this out and see what you think. I really think once you're there and you see the tools that are there, the toolbox that we're building with all these documents and manuals and resources, I think you'll really love it. And it'll be something that helps you. Because when Ron and I started the KMC years and years and years ago, we just said, look, we're tired of doing this alone. We're tired of feeling alone. We need to help each other. And I need to have a place where I can share an idea and people go, you're not crazy. That's awesome. How do I help? You know, what else can you do? And all of a sudden, you know, new ideas blossom and new things happen. And it's just one of those things that I totally believe in with all my heart. And I really do think it's something that can really change the world if more people come check it out. So I'm just going to invite everybody, come check it out, give it a whirl, and see what happens. So man, I hate to wrap this up, but we're going to have to.
It's time.
Yeah. So come join the conversation. If you don't want to join the plus, come into the Facebook group, answer the questions to join, and then continue this conversation. What do you use? What's some of your tools that help you? Because listen, you might share something that somebody else desperately needs. You could be that answer to prayer that somebody's been praying, God, I need some help. But hey, if you need prayer, if you need somebody to talk to, all 4 of us are here for you. We're ready to serve you. Please let us help you. Come check it out. So, hey, that's going to wrap up this KMC Collective podcast. My name's Tom.
I'm Cole.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Vickie. Looking forward to you joining the conversation.
Yep.
See ya.
Hey, friend, that wraps up the KMC Collective podcast for this week. Thanks so much for listening. If today's episode sparked something, an idea, a heartbeat, or a fresh start, drop us a line at tom@tombump.com or reach out on social media. We'd love to hear your story and keep the conversation going. Remember, you're not just doing kids ministry, you're shaping the next generation's faith with intention and care. Be encouraged, be creative, and take a breath. You've got this. Catch you next time on the KMC Collective Podcast.